All right, week 5. This week is Hootsuite, and I want to talk a little bit about it. Before we use it, Hootsuite allows you to schedule social media posts in the future. And so, for example, let's say it's Sunday. Just got out of church. I'm excited about the sermon. So I share it on Facebook. I share it on Twitter. I share it on whatever social media I like. And but I want to do more than that. I think that this is good enough. It stands the test of time, right? It's good enough for people to hear on Wednesday. It's good enough for people to hear next week. It's good for people to hear next month and next year. So what I'm going to do is I use this free program called Hootsuite, and I schedule this thing to be posted 5 or 6 more times. Maybe once later on in this week, maybe once later on in the month, maybe once next month, a couple months down the road, and then maybe a couple times next year. And then it's a set it and forget it. So then I never have to mess with it again. And then when the time comes up, then Hootsuite just posts that to my social media, and it appears like I went in and did it myself when actually I scheduled it to be posted. It's an invaluable tool, especially if you're trying to not really spam, but for lack of a better word, spam your content out there. Things that you think are really important that you want to post more than one time, so that way you make sure that people see it. So let's take a look here. Hootsuite.com. I'll have this as a link in the on the Web Apostles webpage. And so the first thing, I gotta sign out. I'm signed in. All right, so you'll see a page like this. You need to log in or get started. You can sign up for an account. Now, what I did is just because it's easier, you can create it with an email. You can create it with, or what I did was I linked it to my Twitter account. And so I sign in with Twitter. I authorize the app, and away we go. And now we're inside of Hootsuite. This is what it looks like. And so the first thing we could do is we got to link some apps. So it might ask you as you set it up to link some apps. But if it doesn't, go up here to the top, the little circle up here at the top, or whatever it should say, whatever you chose as a username, and we need to add a social network. And so let's let me just I'm going to get rid of my Twitter, and we're going to add it back. So the way this works is Hootsuite is free, and it can be paid. And so if you pay for Hootsuite, then you get like the advanced features, and there's a whole bunch of stuff. Most of the paid features, I mean, and this is a generalization, most of the paid features are for corporations, and I haven't really got far enough or used Hootsuite enough to ever need any of the paid features. I use only the free features of Hootsuite. But one of the limitations that you have with Hootsuite is that you can only use 3 different social media accounts with the free version. And so the 3 that I use are Instagram, Facebook, and then I also use Twitter. So you got to pick which 3 are most important to you, and you can use those. So I'm gonna click Add a Social Network. Oh, and Hootsuite is also not available for every type of social media. It's only certain ones: Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, and Instagram. Instagram being added recently. So I want to add Twitter, so I hit Connect with Twitter. Ka-ching. It's going to open up another page. You put your Twitter account name in there, you put your password in there, which I have it already remembered, and then you click Authorize that app. Except I didn't get the right password in there. Is that my Twitter name? What's my Twitter name? FBC Church Auburn. That's right. Why isn't that password good? So then you authorize the app. I'm not sure how much of that you could see, but hopefully you saw it all. And once you authorize the app, then you get back here, and Twitter is added. Oops. Now, once you have the 3 social medias that you want to add, let's go down here to settings. So we want to take, before we get started in doing stuff, we want to make sure that a couple of settings are set correctly. First of all, let's go to preferences. I click hide, or I uncheck hide promoted tweets. This was checked before. It's probably checked on yours. You don't want to pay any attention to promoted tweets. So you want to click, you want to uncheck that. That's definitely something you're going to want to check. You're also going to want to go to notifications. So I uncheck most of this because I don't want to be messed with, and especially if you're putting this on your same email account as you use for everything else. Like, this thing will spam you, especially if you have a lot of followers on social media. So I uncheck all this stuff. The only thing I don't uncheck is I want to know when something I scheduled doesn't go out, because sometimes things get wonky, and I want to know when that happens. So this is the only one I leave. You don't have to leave any of these checked. You can leave them all checked if you just want to like look at it. But just be aware, it will send you a lot of email. Just be aware of that. So if you want notifications, check them. If you don't, uncheck them. Now, auto schedule. So Hootsuite has this feature, which is fantastic, where it instead of you picking the time of when to schedule your stuff in the future, it picks it for you. And it tries to, basically, it has an algorithm, I don't know what it is, but it tries to figure out the best time of day to schedule your messages. And you can put that, you get to pick how many messages a day. So I'm going to change this. I'm going to lower it to 3. And you get to pick the time. And I'm going to lighten this up a little bit because I think that some of my users are more in the evening. And then you can pick days of the week. So if I just decided, right, like I don't want anything scheduled on Sunday because I tweet a ton of stuff out on Sunday. So I don't want it to schedule it on Sunday because I'm already bombarding Sunday, right? And so now so if when I hit the auto schedule button, it will schedule 3 messages per day. So it'll just start stacking messages, and it'll only do it Monday through Saturday, and it'll only do it between 8 a.m. and 10 p.m. So you just kind of want to set this how you want it. And I don't really know. I guess I don't have a real clear glass. This is kind of how I'm setting it. Just because, again, I post a ton of stuff on Sunday already. I don't want to bombard it with more stuff. And I don't know. I get a lot of stuff later in the evening, so I think 10 p.m. is more than good enough. So I'm gonna hit Save Settings, and away I go. So those are my 3 settings that I want to mess with. Now, so let's actually look at publishing something. So we go to the scheduler, which is the little paper airplane here, right? So the first one is what do we want to send to? So here's my 3 social media things. The top one has the little Twitter icon, so that's Twitter. This one is Facebook. That is the church Facebook page, and this bottom one is Instagram. So I know before in the Instagram one, I said that you can't do Instagram through your computer, but this is a loophole. You can use Hootsuite to upload stuff to Instagram. And so I think that's fantastic. That's why I use it. And so if that's something that maybe leans you back in towards Instagram, that's great. So I'm just going to do Twitter. So and notice when I click on Twitter, then it puts 1 up there, right? And it also puts the character count down here. So in Twitter, you can only post 140 characters. So it keeps track of Oops, it keeps track of how many characters I can type. So let's say I wanted to also do Instagram. So then I click on Instagram. Now notice there's 2, and it also keeps track. You can only post 2,200 characters in Instagram. But I'm going to take that off. All right, so I'm going to type something in. I'm going to put shout out to all my web apostles. Boom, exclamation. And then I'm going to put pound Hootsuite. Now, I have 95 characters left, but I don't care about that. I can attach a picture to this. So this is my example, right? So I can attach a picture. So I could just, this is just like any other, Facebook or anything else. You go into your computer, you pick a picture, and then you upload it. I'm not going to mess with that because I don't need to do a picture. Now here's the cool part. You go to scheduling. So let's just say that you wanted to schedule this message in the future, right? So let's just say you wanted to do it on Friday. So you click on the little calendar down here on Friday. Then notice that it changed the date, right? And then let's change the time. We want it to be 6:15 p.m. I don't want an email. And I'm just going to hit schedule. Boom. Oh, you know what it... because I removed Twitter, it got rid of all my other stuff. Normally I would have a bunch of stuff here, but because I deleted and re-added Twitter, it deleted all the stuff I did. So that's kind of a bummer. But everything for you guys. So here's my list of stuff. So as I begin to add stuff, let me just test message number 1, FEC web. So we'll make that on the 29th at 1:55. That's fine. So see, as you begin to add stuff, what are you talking about? So as you begin to add stuff, you get a list. And if you do a lot of this type of stuff, it'll just keep listing, right? And this will go down and down into the scroll forever. And I retweet a lot of stuff, specifically the sermons. And so let's just walk through that. So I'm going to use Twitter. I'm going to go to the sermon page, right? This is on the website. If you go to website, you go to sermons, right? And let's say I want to do that's not PC. That was Crystal Krachunas, I believe. Yeah, Crystal Krachunas. That was a week ago from this last Wednesday. So what I want to do is I'm going to go up here. I'm going to copy the address. I'm going to go back to I'm going to go back to Hootsuite. I'm going to put that in the link. And then I'm going to hit shrink. And now it created a mini link for me, which makes it less intrusive. Then at the beginning of it, I'm going to put that's not PC. And the mini link is kind of cool because we have a limited amount of characters in Twitter. And so the mini link makes it super short. It uses up less characters. And then I was Galatians 1:10. That's the verse. Galatians 1:10. No, did I spell Galatians wrong? That's what I love about Google Chrome, is it corrects my spelling. And then I'm going to put pound sermon on the end because it's a sermon. And then why not? We'll put pound FEC. And then I'm going to schedule that. Let's do it. Well, I've showed you the other. I'm going to show you the auto schedule. So this was off before. So if we click the auto scheduler on, we just click auto schedule, and away we go. Now, Hootsuite has determined that the best time for us to send out this message is at 3 p.m. today. That's the best time, according to Hootsuite. That's what it thinks. And so that's when it scheduled it. And so at 3 o'clock this afternoon, that sucker will go out, and it'll go to Twitter, and it'll be great. So that's kind of how Hootsuite works. And so if I do 4 more things, right, it'll fill up today. And then, so on the 4th one, because I set it to I want only 3 per day, on the 4th one, it'll kick it to tomorrow. And it'll just keep doing that. And you'll just keep, the auto scheduling will just keep determining the best times, and it'll keep filling up your thing, your days. And so that's just kind of how I work it. I use the auto scheduler. I just keep sharing stuff. I use this for blogs. I use this for sermons. Anything, any article I find interesting or Christian related, I schedule them. And then some things I use the manual scheduler, and I schedule it out a bunch of times. So that's how you use that. If you're manually scheduling posts, there's 2 times that I've found that are really popular. If you want to choose them, Mondays from noon to 1 is what most people consider to be the golden hour of people looking at the internet, because you're back at work. It's generally lunchtime, and you don't want to be at work, and so you escape. And how you escape is you're on your phone or your computer, and you're on the internet. And so that's like a money period. And also Saturdays, specifically Saturdays, late morning, early afternoon. Those seem to be the really great times for myself personally. For social media, you can get a lot of hits during that time period. Now, how many times a day do you want to schedule posts? So on Twitter, like Twitter's cool because you can shove out a ton of posts on Twitter and nobody cares. On Facebook, you really have to be careful, because your friends will start to hate you if you post the same thing over and over and over 5 days in a row. So on Facebook, I would say do not post the same article more than twice a month. I would say would be your max. And so just limit it to that. Don't do the same one more than twice a month. And also you kind of got to be careful. I got myself into a little bit of trouble. I started scheduling things out in years, and so I had stuff scheduled till 2025. And what happened is some of my stuff that I was linking to, the website went away. And so like I had this blog, and it was fantastic articles in this blog, and I was it was a lady, she was tweeting about motherhood, and I loved her articles. But what happened is she shut down her website. I'm not 100% sure why, but she shut it down. And so when she shut it down, all my links were bad. And so I was tweeting out a link to nowhere. And that's very bad. Your people that follow you on social media, if they go to a page that doesn't exist, they're going to be really angry at you. And so then what I had to do is I had to go through all my stuff and dig out all the links that linked to her the web page that no longer existed, and I had to delete all those. And so I was digging through links forever. So I don't do that anymore. I don't schedule things 10 years out anymore. I cut it back quite a bit. So just keep that in mind. Also, I know a situation. Pat Nelson actually told me of where a guy was using Hootsuite, and he passed away, and his Twitter account and his Facebook account were still posting 3 and 4 years after he had died. And so that can be, kind of awkward and weird. So just just keep that type of stuff in mind. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about Hootsuite and how to use it, or I guess the last thing is if you use Google Chrome. So as a internet browser, I use Chrome. I love Chrome. I'm a big Google guy. Some people are Apple people. Some people are like Internet Explorer. I like Chrome. So for Chrome, you can get something called Hootlit. And so what Hootlit does is instead of logging into Hootsuite and doing stuff, right, you just use Hootlit. And so let's say I wanted to, let's do a different sermon here. I'm going to show you the same, let's do time to fill up. That was Pastor Matt's sermon. So I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to share the sermon, but instead of pasting stuff into Hootsuite, I'm going to use the Hootlit thing. So I'm on this page and I want to share it. So to Hootsuite. So I just go up here to the little owl. This is Hootlit. It actually installs into Google Chrome and it puts a little owl up there. You click on the little owl and look, it already it drags the title over, it drags the name of the church, and then it already inserts the link. And so I'm just going to put another little tab in there, and I'm going to put Philippians 1, 9 through 11. And then I'm going to click auto schedule. Shabam. Oh, I gotta add a social network. Auto schedule. Your message was scheduled. And so now if we go back to Hootsuite, we go to scheduled. We have to refresh this page. Now, so we scheduled another one, right? Time to fill up. The next time was 6:05. And so this makes it much faster, much easier to do. So I'm gonna do two more. I want to show you how it switches over to the next day. I'm gonna get the Twitter in there. Put up a tab. Hebrews 12, 1 through 4. I like adding the verses because it gives more. Lets people know that it's covering Bible stuff. And then the last one. Let's do one more. I like rainbows. That was one of my. I really like this sermon. It's one of my favorite. Pastor. I believe that's Pastor J. Yeah, that's Pastor J. Genesis 9:13 through 15. Auto schedule. Oop. Twitter. Auto schedule. Back to Hootsuite. Reload. Refresh the page here. And see it's scheduled 3. These were the 3 auto schedules. Like I said, I set my limit to 3. And then it kicked it to tomorrow. And so tomorrow, 9 a.m., it will do I Like Rainbows. And it'll kick that one out. And I'd also like to mention, so that's Hootlit. It's really simple. It's really easy. Once you have your Hootsuite set up, then your Hootlit, just be logged into your Hootsuite, install Hootlit, and it will just pull it right over. And it's really easy to then start scheduling stuff to be posted on Twitter or Facebook or whatever. And again, just be careful with overscheduling things, specifically on Facebook. Your Facebook friends do not want to see the sermon 8 times in 1 week. They just don't. I would keep it to one. I would keep it to twice. Once on the day that it happens, and then maybe once like a week later. With Twitter, you can spam that. So like nobody cares about Twitter. You can hit that, 8 times a month, and no one's going to care. And just kind of use common sense when it comes to that. You can also, Hootsuite also has apps for the iPhone and also for the Android. So you can put this thing on your phone. And so our website is great in in mobile. It's a mobile designed website, and so you can use the Hootsuite app on your iPhone or your Android. I haven't tried the iPhone. I have it on my phone for the Android, and it works great. I can share stuff through Hootsuite via my phone, and it's really slick. So maybe one of you guys try the iPhone one and let me know how that goes. But it works really slick, and that's about it. Hootsuite is a great app. Travis Willis, if you guys know Travis, he goes to our church. He turned me on to this thing, and I love it. I use it all the time. It's fantastic, and so I want you to get in there. I want you to try it. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't, but give it a shot. And we will be meeting this Sunday. What is this coming up? It's coming Sunday. We'll be on Sunday the 18th. 5:30, and we'll talk some Hootsuite then. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.